NVIDIA, ticker symbol NVDA in this video. Why is it up so much today? Has it caught you out by a surprise? Not me. Has it got you worried about the delays in the chips? Not me. Are you worried about the upcoming earnings? What about rotation? What about the carry trade? What about what very large YouTubers like Meet Kevin is saying that took a 4-day break all of a sudden because they took a lot of abuse for saying the world's coming to an end? Knows nothing about history. I've never known anything like it. World War III is about to start. Everything's going down 60% when it's never done that in history. But there you go. Are you surprised that NVIDIA is going up today? Well, let's discuss it. We've got a full technical chart just been done for you by Sensei. I'm going to show you that now. I'm also going to show you some intrinsic valuations, some latest news. Sit back and relax. Feel comfortable owning NVIDIA today. Before I share you the news, I've got lots of news to share with you. Why we're not worried, why we're not bothered, all of this. Let me calm everyone down just for a moment. Thank you, Sandy Tran. Let me calm everyone down. First of all, let's be absolutely clear. Are you a trader or are you a business owner? I'm not even using the word investor this morning. I'm using the word business owner. I like to own businesses, not stocks, businesses that work for me 24 hours a day, earning me money as the owner. My only job is to invest in myself, my education, my understanding of the business, and my sentiment and emotion, and also my income. Income is what makes you rich, not gambling with no money on any stock market or any casino for that matter. For me, my business is YouTube. I earn money every month, I spend as little as possible, and I invest everything. The rich invest everything, they spend what's left. The poor spend everything, invest what's left. If I have to eat bread and water, I will. I won't buy that Nike t-shirt. I will just wear unbranded shirts like I do. They're just as good. And I invest all of my money, every penny. And I want to own great businesses. Businesses that I can own for a minimum of 10 years. So that's what I do. I buy businesses. Now, as you know, I only own the S&P, but that's the same thing for me. I understand the businesses that make up the S&P, excuse me, and the tech sector is and will be about 30% of the growth over the next couple of years. It's why I've said the S&P can 3x by the end of the decade. And by the way, I said that before Tom Lee said it. So let's look at NVIDIA. We've had people today on the show saying I sold at 108, now I'm looking for a dip. In my opinion, and it's only my opinion, it's a $200 stock. Now we got people in here today saying it's going to 4,000. I have to say they're unverified users. They're talking rubbish. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Oh, I've seen it on a website. Well, I can create a fake website and write anything I want. Give me 5 minutes and I'll do it. Not a problem. I look at the balance sheet and the numbers, and this is why I'm not worried about NVIDIA. And why it sold off was the carry trade, the rotation, manipulation. We've already covered those points. We're not going to go over that again and waste your valuable time. We're going to focus on what's important. There's no tech bubble here either. This is not the dot-com crash. This is not 2008. This is not a depression. The markets aren't going down 60% at all. They're going to 3x by the end of the decade. And that isn't based upon guessing. It's based upon numbers that speak very clearly to me and the way the world is evolving and changing. Doesn't mean it's a fact, but it means based upon numbers and basic principles, I can see very clearly that's where it's going. So I like to own a great business and hold it. Because remember, if you sell and trade a business, you pay tax on it, and it's not a game of checkers, it's a game of chess. You've not just got one move, you've got infinite moves. I like to see at least 5 moves ahead. If I sell NVIDIA, what am I going to do next? Am I going to chase it up and pay more after I've paid the 20% tax at the end of the year when the IRS or Inland Revenue find out about it? What am I going to do? What stock am I going to own now? Let me explain to you why NVIDIA is going up. Tap the like button and consider subscribing to the channel. Let me make some statements and predictions before I share the news. The stock market is not going down 60%. We are not going to have World War III. And if we did, what is the use of buying life insurance from Meet Kevin, who's telling you to buy his life insurance? What a load of rubbish. World War III happens. Who the bloody hell cares about your stocks and all the rest of it? The reality is that isn't going to happen. What happens in the Middle East has been happening for hundreds of thousands of years. It's saber rattling, always goes on. It's all about selling headlines and newspapers and videos for some. For me, it's about the history. It's about the facts and how it actually works. NVIDIA is going to $200. Let me share with you some of the news. I just don't see a tech bubble. CIO assures market sell-off won't last. Urges investors to embrace volatility. It's already happened. I already went all in on margin. Remember, look at this. Proof. This is my portfolio. Look, I went all in. 81471. You see there. Can't get more bullish than that. I've got all the stocks I need now to take me to $1 million. I haven't got to buy any more dips, any more pumps. I haven't got to sell anything. Just own it. That's it. Let's read more of this story, why there's no tech bubble. And there isn't. There isn't a tech bubble. In the wake of recent market sell-off, Manish Singh, Chief Investment Officer at Crossbridge Capital, has dismissed concerns of a looming tech bubble burst. This comes as global markets tentatively bounce back from a significant downturn in early August. What happened? Technology stocks bore the brunt of the sell-off, with the tech-heavy NASDAQ 100. I wouldn't buy the NASDAQ. Wouldn't buy the NASDAQ, it's too heavy. The S&P is the right balance. Experiencing 1.6 dip in July and a further 4% drop in August. Let's remind ourselves, when that happened, that I think it was a Friday night, was it, or a Monday morning? I think it was a Friday night. Some people like Meet Kevin, Graham, Stepan and others, huge multi-million subscriber channels. The following morning, got up and made predictions and all the rest of it. What did I do? I went live throughout the night, showing you that I'm buying the dip. It was ridiculous. It was an unwinding of the carry trade, which largely is done. There could be more, but it'll be managed wisely. There's not an issue there. There was many other factors. And people used it to say, that's it, we're all going down 60% when we've never gone down 60% in history. I bought more. I didn't buy NVIDIA, I bought the S&P. That was the way to own this. So I now own about $12,000, $13,000 worth of NVIDIA. This has reignited discussion surrounding a potential tech sector bubble. However, Singh countered these concerns in a conversation with CNBC's Squawk Box Europe. I just don't see a tech bubble. Let me just reline that up. Yes, a few stocks have done well, and they have done well on earnings, but they have delivered. Now, on that earnings point, this is the point. I've done a survey on my show, and I think it was somewhere in the 80s, 85% of investors on my show who buy Tesla, who buy NVIDIA, who buy rock and roll trending tech, have never read the balance sheet, have never done the earnings. We did a poll. Most people don't care. They follow what Elon Musk says, what large YouTubers said. We asked them to be honest, and they voted. Well, that tells you everything. If you look at the balance sheet for NVIDIA, you know that the earnings is going to be great on August 28th. We're going to cover it live, obviously. We are one of the top ranking channels in the world now for NVIDIA, which surprised me, but we are. We grew really quickly in the last few weeks. We've had a few sort of semi-viral videos, which is great because we do read the balance sheets. We do look at the numbers. Let me show you this. The delay in the chips is of no concern to me whatsoever. A lot of people went, oh, there's going to be delays in chips. The earnings are going to be down. Well, the only reason you want to say that is you want to drive the price down, but there's no reason to panic in my book at all. There's plenty of supply with what they already have, and there's plenty of money coming in as well. Look at the latest numbers. We've got 79.8 billion, up 31% on the most recent range. We have got a projected S-curve in front of us, and these projections, I believe, are understated. Why I say that is because the economy is improving. Rates are coming down. The global situation is fine. What's going on in the Middle East is one, not going to be World War III, but most importantly, AI is a huge part of the problem solver. More people are going to need this in defense, security, communications, even if there was a World War III. But let's just take that off the table anyway, because it wouldn't matter if there was. You know, what you can do about it if there was. Right, operating income, it's all about to explode. These are real numbers. This is the real balance sheet. If we look at if we look over here at the assets for NVIDIA, 77.1 billion in assets, 31 billion is, let me make it a bit smaller so you can see it, fit it in the screen. 31 billion is in cash. This is why NVIDIA and Microsoft and Google quite enjoy the rates being high. They make a lot of money on there. Imagine how much money you earn. Historic highs when you got 31 billion in the bank. I mean, you do quite well out of high interest rates. They don't care about high interest rates, but it will benefit the rest of the S&P, the small caps. And I don't mean the Russell rubbish. I don't mean the rubbishy businesses. I mean the good businesses that make up the top 500 businesses in the world that are in the S&P, right? They're going to do well when rates come down. It's not really going to affect the growth of NVIDIA, other than the smaller businesses can now borrow money and buy into their AI technology. Liabilities, if we look at it, long-term debt, 8.5 billion. Let's remind ourselves what that equates to. Long-term debt is 30% of their position, right? But they've got in cash 31 billion. They could pay off their margin. They could pay off their debt like 4 times over. They're in a very good position. We've already looked at the margins and they're increasing. The margins are increasing and they're going to increase. Operating margin, but most importantly, net margin after all expenses. It's going to get a lot more profitable, not less. It's not going to get less profitable. It's going to get more profitable. Why would you want to be selling this? Return on equity. Look at the steep climb. And it's going to get better. We are in an industrial revolution. This is the AI revolution. 97% profitability, 82% solvency. This business ain't going anywhere. There is your $210 forecast from Wall Street within 12 months, not 12 years, 12 months. By the way, nowhere near one of our members, in fact, not one of our members at all. Someone just saying it's going to go to $4,000. We don't pay any attention to that. That's ridiculous. 200 is a great price target. Let's go back over to the news. He further noted that the NASDAQ index on an equally weighted basis has remained steady over the last 3 years. Singh also highlighted that the broader S&P 500 did not appear overbought. No, it's not overbought. In fact, it's a very good value right now. If we look at the S&P, let's look at the PEG ratio. Let's look at the price earnings ratio. This is very, very important. The S&P, let's look at it right now. And let me just zoom down here. Price to earnings ratio, 26 times. That is not expensive for the S&P. Remember, 7% or more than that? 7%, 7.23 is Microsoft, 6.62 is NVIDIA. Okay, if we go to their prices, let's go to NVIDIA for a moment, and we look at NVIDIA price to earnings ratio, 61.28. Now that sounds a lot, but considering its growth of where it's going, this is actually not expensive right now. And when you consider the growth that's expected for NVIDIA being 6.7% or whatever it was, 6.2, and then you bring in Microsoft, which are customers of NVIDIA, and you bring in Google and Amazon, all customers of NVIDIA and all customers of each other, that tells me we've got a 3x on the S&P by the end of the decade. And I said that before Tom Lee. Now, I've got some more news for you in a minute. While encouraging investors to embrace volatility, Singh mentioned that more volatility is likely to occur in August due to seasonality patterns. Now then, a lot of people have said to me, aren't you getting a little carried away? Margin, $200 with NVIDIA, 3x on the S&P. No, I don't think so. And let me tell you why. I don't like looking back in it. I don't like looking backwards and assuming that the future would be the same. History is important. I've studied history. I went all the way in history and all the way in numbers, mathematics. However, I don't use my investment strategy based upon history other than human sentiment. I understand what humans are going to do. In other words, how greedy they're going to be and how they're going to manipulate and lie and exaggerate and all the rest of it. Like meet Kevin, 60% drops, World War III in 5 minutes. Every day, there's World War III's every day. He's been saying it now for nearly 6 months. He hasn't got a clue what he's talking about. Seasonality would say that September would be a slow month. However, in September, we just follow a blistering, which is my prediction, NVIDIA earnings. This is not like a normal September. Everybody says every year that I've been doing this now, which is 3 years, oh, the Santa rally. We don't always get a Santa rally. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. You don't know. No one knows whether the stock's going up, down, sideways. What we do know is what we can read in a balance sheet. We can see the orders for NVIDIA. We can see how people are adopting the technology. We can see the profit margins. We understand all of that. And those that understand history also understand there's not going to be World War III in the next 5 minutes and destroy the market. We know that as well. Now, I've got some other news I wanted to share with you as well. I just mentioned a few moments ago about the delay in chips. That's become a really big news on Reddit. The worst place you could possibly go for financial information. People on Reddit are often the shorters, not investors. They don't own anything. They tell everybody to pump the stock, then they dump it. They all dump it on each other. They're just pooping on each other all the time. We're all mates together. We're all bros. We're all this. Let's all buy it until one of us, the admin of the group, decides to dump it, and then they all lose money. You all saw what happened with FFIE, Omar, millions and millions of followers, tens of millions of followers, all impressionable people, now all lost all their money following FFIE down the toilet. He got involved in the GameStop nonsense and bought this rubbish, and now all his followers are losing all their money. All right. Now everyone's telling you that we've got chip shortages, and that's the reason why we should be getting rid of we should be selling NVIDIA and God knows what else. Well, the reality is this. Why its AI chip delay isn't worrying Wall Street ahead of earnings. It shouldn't be. But of course, retail investors are all, oh my God, it's all going down the toilet. So when Wall Street dumped on the carry trade throughout the night, when I was up live buying it, Everybody woke up in the morning and went, oh my God, the stocks are all going down. Meet Kevin says, going down 60%. Donald Trump said the world would end within 48 hours when Iran invaded first 5 missiles on Israel. Oh my God, what's going on? You walk straight into it. Wall Street dumped, not because it was rubbish. They dumped to drive it down. You all went, oh my God. You all sold. It went down further. I was up all night buying it. This is why the chip shortages is not an issue. NVIDIA stock was edged up Monday as the chip maker looks to put concerns over its next generation processors behind it and builds up to its earnings report. We're going to cover it live. You can't miss it. NVIDIA shares were up 0.8% at 105. Well, we're now at, what are we now? We're now at 109, 110. The stock closed down 0.2 on Friday. Did you notice how the markets rallied on Friday? It didn't dump because people said it was going to. People said there's going to be a World War III over the weekend. That never happened. But the stock market didn't sell off, did it? It stayed in. NVIDIA shares continue to linger at their lowest level since May, following a report that volume shipment of its Blackwell B200 chip would be delayed some 3 months due to a design flaw. NVIDIA hasn't commented specifically on the report, but has said it expects to ramp up production of Blackwell chips in the second half of this year. Supermicro CEO Charles Liang said he didn't expect any significant volumes of the processors until the first quarter of 2025. Supermicro makes servers which house NVIDIA chips. However, Wall Street analysts are generally tranquil about the knock-on effect. Jefferies analyst said in a recent presentation that NVIDIA's current generation Hopper chips should still sell strongly until the end of 2024, by which point the Blackwell chips should start becoming a significant contributor to sales. In other words, it's not going to slow down income, profits, margins, or anything of the like. There are plenty of demand for the current chips. But of course, everybody wants to say, oh no, there's going to be a delay. That's it. NVIDIA's going down the toilet. No, NVIDIA's not going down the toilet. NVIDIA is still making more and more money. Jefferies forecasts that Blackwell chips will represent almost a third of NVIDIA's output of graphic processor units for data centers in the fourth quarter of 2024. That's not very long to go, is it? Anyway, Jefferies analyst Blaine Curtis has a buy rating and 150 price target on NVIDIA stock. NVIDIA will report its quarterly earnings on August the 28th. We'll be there live. All right, so then, let's just finish up with this. If you are buying any stock today, before you buy another stock, ask yourself, what is the purpose of you being here? Why are you here? Why are you here? What is the purpose of investing in the stock market, period? What is your goal? Do you know why you're here? Well, for me, it's to get to $1 million live on the show and grow the most honest YouTube channel in the world. And I will share with you my aim here. Look, this is the app I use. I want to get to $1 million. I know exactly how to get to $1 million, what it will take, what's required, discipline, and all the rest of it. All right? So first of all, what is your aim? Why are you here? Now, if you are here to get rich from doing nothing and simply owning stock, then you have no place to be here. Just like no place in a casino. What you should be doing is building your business, your income, your understanding of how you're going to earn money, period. And then when you've made money and you've made your life efficient, you've paid your car loan off, paid your mortgage off, like I have, then it's a time to invest. In my opinion, it's only my opinion. This is not financial advice, right? Then you are looking to buy businesses that you can own for 10 years. That's what I do. I look for businesses that I can own and never worry about. And when people talk about having cash on hand, I don't think having cash on hand is a very sensible idea at all. I think it's the worst advice anyone can give you. Because if you've got cash sitting around, it's not working. My money, my dollar bills are soldiers for me. They are working every single day, every single dollar. I have I have 3 bank accounts in the world. Lloyd's in England, nothing in it. Just enough to pay the monthly bills in England, which aren't very much because I have a solar powered house and my bills are minimal, but even so, there's some. And I send just enough to pay the bills for my house in England. I have a Bank of America account and I have $10 in it. $10, no money in it at all. I have a Chase bank account with 0 in it. I only have it so I can have the Amazon credit card to earn 5% cash back. Money, cash is useless. I can get cash whenever I want. People say, oh, well, you need cash in the bank to pay the bills. You need money for the next 6 months to pay the bills. What are you on about? I've got 101,500. Oh, but you got margin. I could sell all my margin today and still have 101,543. I've got plenty of money in the market working every single day. Money in the bank loses money. 1, it earns 0. 2, it's losing money every year with inflation. Having money sat in the bank is the biggest waste of time ever. What about in emergencies? What if you suddenly have to repair something? Your computer breaks. If my computer breaks today, I will use my credit card from Apple, where I get, I think, 3% back, and buy a new computer. I will then have 30 days or 60 days, depending on when I buy it, to pay off that credit card. I'll earn 3% cash back. The money I've had has been working for me. I'll sell some shares. Because remember, the shares I bought at the beginning of my journey are all up 20-30% now. I'll sell a few shares and pay off my credit card. So I don't need cash in the bank, do I? If I've got wealth. And that's the point. I've got 101,613 working, earning money. Okay? So I have got my money working for me all the time. I'm owning businesses. I understand my businesses and I'm holding my businesses. If I didn't read the balance sheet, if I didn't follow the earnings as I follow I do up to 4 earnings a day now. 4 earnings a day. 2 pre-market, 2 aftermarket. We're doing Rumble earnings tonight. And if somebody else wants a second one, we'll do that. Thank you, Leah. I'm earning as much money as possible. All right. I am focused on me. I'm focused on earning. I'm focused on owning my businesses. Money sitting around in cash doesn't do anything. So what do you do if the market dips? Well, and this is not financial advice, and I don't recommend anyone do it, because I do it because I understand it. I use margin. Why would you not use just cash? Well, if I had cash sitting around waiting for something bad to happen, the money isn't working. It's just sat there waiting for doom and gloom. I don't believe in doom and gloom. I believe in opportunity. So there's no point my cash sitting around doing nothing. So every penny of mine is in. Now, when you invest every penny, you get more opportunity to use margin. The more you have, the more margin that you have. Make sense? Okay, so I'm using margin. That is what businesses do. Businesses borrow money all the time to make more money, because what they're paying to borrow money, they can make more investing it. But you have to calculate that. You have to understand that. You have to have risk management. Everyone does it. Every hedge funder borrows money. Every business borrows money. But you have to know how to do it and don't go crazy on it. Right? So I've looked at my calculations and I understand where my portfolio is going, and I see where the markets are going. I see what the world is doing, and I want to be all in with my cash. Remember, I can always get some money out if I need it. I don't need money sat in the bank doing nothing. I use margin. Now, margin is currently costing me 6.8%. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at it right now. 6.55. You can see it on the screen right now. It was costing me 6.75. Can you see that number just there? Look. There, look. It was costing me 6.75. I moved to a better tier by being more. So it's costing me 6.55. My growth at the moment is 13%. So clearly I'm making more by owning stocks with margin than I would be if I just sat around and did nothing, right? It's making me money. Interest rates are about to come down, maybe by 0.5%, and then another 0.5%, and then another couple of quarters. My margin is probably going to go down about 1 or 2% over the next 3 or 4 months. It's going to become even cheaper. More people are then going to jump in, but then they'll be chasing my positions. They'll be chasing where I already am. I won't be. I've already bought enough shares to get to $1 million. I don't need to chase the market when it goes up. I don't need to sell because I'm going to spend the next few years now paying down my margin. My business is going to grow. The interest rates are going to come down. And remember, the S&P pays me a dividend, which when the rates come down just a little bit more will cover the price of the margin. So I'll be borrowing money for free. Effectively, I won't. I'll be paying for it. But my dividends will cover it. Then my income goes in every month. My margin will be coming down and down and down. The rates will be coming down and down and down, and the market will be going up and up and up. And I will get to $1 million live on the show within 6 years. So that's my strategy. That's what I think about the markets, and that's how I'm doing it. And that's why I own NVIDIA. NVIDIA, I own through the S&P. That's, for me, the right way to own it. For transparency of my show and not pumping and dumping and interviewing CEOs, but it's also, I believe, the best asset to own because I get the strength of tech growing, but I also get the sectors that yet have to benefit from AI in the next few years. Anyway, there's my very long update on NVIDIA this morning. Let me give you some very, very important information to finish up with this video. Sensei last night, so it's very, very up to date, provided some very, very useful charts. The charts are oops-a-daisy, let me share over here. Hang on a minute. Here we go. Sensei provided a chart for Virgin Galactic. Most importantly for all of you, he provided a chart for NVIDIA. NVIDIA, right? He provided you a chart for NVIDIA. So check that out. Also Rocket Labs, also Archer. Okay, there you go. We've got some Soundhound was also done. This is on my video page. You can see my my explanation of how it can go to $200. I've also done a recent analysis on NVIDIA as well, a fundamental analysis. You might want to go and check that out. But there are the recent videos. I will put them below this video in the description, pinned to the comments, and you can go and check them out. They were made for you last night, so they are for this week's trading. So they're very, very up to date, as up to date as you could humanly possibly be. All right, there you go. Do you agree with me? Do you agree with me that we have got a $200 stock on our hands with NVIDIA? Do you agree that we are not in an AI bubble? Do you agree that the S&P will 3x by the end of the decade? Do you agree that the next earnings for NVIDIA is going to be a blow off the top, fantastic earnings, as I do? Let me know in the comments below. I will also give you the link for the NVIDIA earnings. Be the first to book your ticket, get a front row seat to be there for the earnings. You don't want to miss it. Click above my head for all the links down below in the description. Over here, I will put, what should I put? I'll put the earnings for NVIDIA. I'll put the earnings for NVIDIA so you can all get straight into that show early. Bookmark it, and down here, and share it with everybody. Down here, I'll put the NVIDIA playlist, which will include Sensei's charts, analysis, all of it down there, all in one place. There you go. What do you think of that? And what do you think of my investment strategy? Do you agree with me? Am I doing it right, or would you do things very differently? Until next time, as always, take care of yourselves and each other.